Welcome back, everybody. We're here to do another video on Turo. What I'm going to do on this video is recap our June trips and June earnings. That way you can get a kind of better understanding of what we were able to manage with just running one truck on the Turo platform. And before we get started, if you could please hit the like button and subscribe. That'll do a lot of help for the channel here. Trying to grow something pretty small right now, but hopefully in due time we can get some more followers and get some more people interested and hopefully active on the Turo platform. So I'll jump right into it. June was our best month of the year, easily. Now, largely that was because earlier in the year, our truck had a recall. There was windshield wiper issues. So basically through January through end of March, our truck was basically off the platform. We couldn't rent anything. And Ford at that time was not saying the parts were going to be back and, ready to be completed until end of September. So that was a huge kind of question mark. Fortunately, near the end, I think it was early April, end of March, we were able to get it fixed and get it back on the platform. And just with the timing of where our truck is located in Northern Nevada, seasonality stuff plays into it. So May, it wasn't super busy because you have the ski, snowboard, mountain season ending and not quite warm enough yet for the summer season where everybody's coming up to visit Lake Tahoe. So it's kind of one of those weird tweener seasons where there's just not a whole lot of people coming to vacation, but that's fine. As long as we can maximize the summer, that's totally fine in my book. So our total earnings in June was $1,780. And that was broken down between 3 trips. And the first trip was June 5th to June 9th. And that total was $299.20. Now, there was a $250 extra charge on that trip, and that was because the guest did take the truck into an unauthorized location. Fortunately for us, the guest was very understanding once we kind of let him know he violated the rules, and it puts our car and us at risk, because if you do unauthorized activity with the truck, such as take it off-roading, I don't know, maybe you're in a location you shouldn't be, Turo's coverage policy can get a little weird and they may not cover your car in case something was to happen. So fortunately for us, the guest was super understanding. And what he did was offer to pay us $250 for detailing to get the car completely cleaned up, which was, I thought, a great move on his part. So that trip, although it was just $299 on the original fee, the original trip total that we were getting net, he did pay an extra $250. Second trip was June 11th to June 17th. This guest was also very respectful, very understanding, like super easy, no problems at all. So first 2 trips off to a pretty good start. That total was $626.25 net. I think the gross on that was $800 some odd dollars, but right now we're on the 75 plan. And I can make a video later on about breaking down some of the plans and what the payouts are and what coverage that includes. But other trip, he basically just drove up to Tahoe, hung out in Tahoe for the weekend, went to visit a couple beaches, and A-okay in my book. Last trip was June 18th to June 25th. That trip was $604.08 is what we netted out of that one. Same type deal. Another guest that just drove the truck up to Tahoe, hung out there for the week, and just kind of putted around the lake, which is fine. It's one thing I've tweeted about several times is I think it really largely depends on where you're renting your car out of. But for us, where we're at, it's very unlikely that we've had any guests push the limits in terms of mileage. We have a truck, so obviously I'm trying not to rack up as many miles as we can on that. It's not a commuter sedan type car. But for us, what we've noticed is, like, specifically the last trip, I think they were allowed 1,750 miles because we do 250 miles a day. That guest ended up driving under 300 miles. I think it was 280 is what they drove. The second trip, he was more, I think they drove, I know it was under 300. I want to say it was 270-ish, but well below the mileage limit. So there are some concerns. Obviously, you never know exactly what the guests are going to do. One of the previous videos, I did talk about a guest who just was our worst guest ever, worst renter so far. And he obviously went over the mileage limit, but we've done 23 trips, I believe, on our truck now, and he was the only one that's even come close. Well, actually, he went over the mileage limit, but for the majority of them, they don't go anywhere near it. So that's good to know, but that is going to depend largely on where you are. If you're in a major city, like I would guess Los Angeles, Houston, a major city where it's more just commuting, driving around. You're probably going to have renters push the limit a little bit more, maybe get closer to the mileage limits. But where we are in Northern Nevada, it's a tiny little pocket. It's 2 hours to Sacramento, 6 hours to Vegas. So really, unless you're staying in the city or driving up to Lake Tahoe, it's hard to push the mileage limits because you can only drive so far in the valley each day. But that is one thing that's worked out well for us. So yeah, I just wanted to recap the June month, 1780, great month for us. Already in July, we got $900 in bookings. I'm hoping that we can get a couple more, maybe one, hopefully two. That'll push us close to the 2,000 mark again per month. Please hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to make a new video every 5 days. I do have some shorts as well, but alongside Turo, I will be posting some more videos shortly of other side hustle money that you can bring in. Just some tips and tricks of kind of what I do to increase our monthly